What's up, guys? Chris over here at Cover 7. We got a good one Saturday night. We got Illinois catching 5 points currently at Indiana. The over-under set to 52. Kind of weird movement on this line. This game opened up Illinois +3, and then got bumped up at one point. I saw it to +6, and now has dropped back down around 4.5 or 5 currently on, depending on what book you look at. So, yeah, some sharp money coming in on both sides here. We'll see where this one ends, but let's talk about both teams here. I'll go through both sides of it, and at the end, I'll give you my prediction and my bet. With that being said, let's talk about the Fighting Illini. Illinois 3-0 on the year, wins over Western Illinois, Duke 45-19, Western Michigan. And let's talk about Luke Altmaier, man. I think this kid is like one of the most underrated QBs in the country, dude. If you remember, he started his career out at Ole Miss, transferred to Illinois, started this will be his third year as a starter, so he's played a lot of football and got plenty of experience. And so far, so good this season, man. Over 700 yards on a 71.8% completion percentage to go along with 8 touchdowns and 0 INTs. Kind of a fun fact here about Illinois. They have yet to turn the ball over, knock on wood. So they've been really good with the ball, which is great. Another guy with tons of experience is Caden Fegan at running back. This guy's pretty good. He was banged up a little bit last year, had a big game against Nebraska, I remember. Pretty good back. He's 6'3", 250, by the way. This guy's huge for a running back. He's got over 200 yards on the ground, averaging just north of 4 yards per carry. We don't talk about this coach enough either, is Brett Bielema. I like this guy a lot, even going back to his days at Wisconsin. He's big about the O-line, running the football, physical lines of scrimmage. That's pretty much what he's done in his time here. He's been head coach at Illinois, and they've trended up year after year after year. Been around a long time. I like it. As far as the pass catchers go, Hank Beatty, he's the go-to number one right now. He's got 20 catches on the season for almost 300 yards. So decent receiving core there for Illinois. They hang their hat on the run game, though. That's what they do. Defensively as well, they rank 29th in total defense, 13th against the run. Very tough, stout defense there against the run, 56th against the pass. Now, you may say, hey, they've played a couple cans of corn here. I would agree. Duke, we thought, was probably going to be better this season. They end up obviously beating them 45-19, like I mentioned, to start the show off here. And Duke got beat by Tulane last week. So Tulane, not a bad team, but I expected a little bit more out of a Duke team this season. So we'll see what happens here in this game against Indiana, as we know. So on the other side here, Indiana 3-0, beat an Old Dominion team which just destroyed Virginia Tech last week. So maybe that's a good win for Indiana. At first, I didn't think much about it. Now looking at it, looks like that was probably a decent win, depending on what you think of Virginia Tech, which they just fired their coach, by the way, which needed to happen. But they have also destroyed Kennesaw State and something called Indiana State, Larry Bird's old college there, 73-0 last week. Quarterback Fernando Mendoza. This guy played at Cal, if you guys remember. Not a bad quarterback over there, transferred over to Indiana in Curt Cignetti's team here. He looks pretty good, too. His stats are almost comparable here to Luke Altmaier's. He's got over 700 yards passing to go along with 9 touchdowns and 0 turnovers as well. Kalen Black, this guy's back again. Pretty good running back for Indiana. Between him and Lee Beebe Jr., both backs averaging here over 7 yards per carry. Say what you will. I know Indiana hasn't really played anybody yet. Again, I seem like I got to bring this up early in the season with some of these preview, prediction, and betting videos, is that I don't put a lot of stock into when you beat a team 73-0, for example, like Indiana State. I just don't. I don't care whether you win that game 27-3. It doesn't really mean much to me. You guys know how that plays out. As long as nobody gets hurt, your second and third stringers, fourth stringers get reps, and they're healthy. That's really all that matters here. Moving on, though, getting back to Indiana here, the pass catchers, Omar Cooper Jr., Elijah Surratt. You guys remember these guys. These guys were pretty good last year, pretty solid. They're back again at wide receiver, and a pretty good fit here with Mendoza so far. Defensively, looks really good here. This is where I had some questions about Indiana last year. Looking pretty good. Ranked 9th in total defense currently, 54th against the rush, 6th against the pass. Again, take that with a grain of salt considering who they've played. How I'm betting this game, I actually think this will be one of the better games of the weekend, and not just because both these two teams are ranked. I'm a Big Ten guy. I try to pull for the Big Ten anytime I can. I'll be watching this game, the whole entire game here, in both lines of scrimmage. To be honest, I think it kind of comes down to that. As far as the spread here goes, like I said, this line has moved a little bit. I bet this yesterday when it was, I think I got a 5.5 with Illinois. I'm going to look to middle this. I hope Illinois can get up, score a touchdown, maybe get up by 10 early, 7, and then I'm probably going to bet it the other way with Indiana. With them being at home here, I think Indiana has an advantage. If you guys also don't know or follow the channel, I am very high on Illinois this year. I think they got a chance to win 9 or 10 games. They could be last year's Indiana. What I mean by that, Indiana did get into the 12-team playoff, finished 4th in the Big Ten, and I think they went 11-1. Their only loss last season was to Ohio State in Cignetti's first year. They looked pretty good. Now, a lot of people, me included, probably think they weren't one of the 12 best teams in the country last year, but regardless, they did what they needed to do to get in. I think Illinois can be that team this year, considering all the returning production. They also, I forgot to mention this, Illinois returns their whole offensive line, which I am big on that. It hasn't worked out for Clemson this year, but Illinois looked pretty good on offense. Don't turn the ball over. I say this a lot about Illinois. They are a way better version of Iowa, in my opinion. The defense might not be at Iowa's level, but damn, their offense is a hell of a lot better. They don't make mistakes. They're not a very highly penalized team. Ball control, run the football, that type of stuff under Brett Bielema, just what he does. I love it. Indiana, I'm not as sold on Curt Cignetti as some people are. I think he had a great year last year. He had to hit the transfer portal this year. We're going to find out a lot about both these teams and kind of the future of the Big Ten this year, how it shakes out in this one. So I'll be looking forward to this game. But as far as me betting, I'm going to take the 5 here with Illinois. I do think Illinois can win this football game. I actually, in my opinion, think Illinois is the better team right now. Like I said, though, we're going to find out. That's why we bet. That's why we do these prediction and preview videos. So we'll find out here. But Indiana might shock me and win this game by 14 points, and then I'm going to be on Indiana, I guess. But as far as betting goes, I'm going to take the +5. I'm going to try to middle this if Illinois can get up early and kind of try to hit that middle like I did last week in the Georgia Tech Clemson game. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far, please give this a thumbs up. It's completely free. New channel here. I'm trying to grow. I'm open to any sort of criticism as well. And I may release another video this week. I already got a couple out there. I can leave those down in the description. If you really enjoy this content and would like to see me do better, please subscribe. Let me know. And we'll see you next time.